2, 1. Hello, good evening to a nice Scotland. I can't tell if it's sunny or not in Italy today.
It's pouring with rain.
So we are delighted to welcome back Jay Robert Thomson of Team Dimension Data. Jay, how are you?
Yeah, super. Great to be back on the little interview show.
Yeah, the preview show. I think we're going to.
I should call it the preview show.
It's going to have to be called. Yeah, we're going to have as it keeps growing. We're going to have to come up with a jazzy name for it, I think.
I think you need to.
Since we last spoke, obviously you competed in Tour of Oman, which was very successful for the team. Haas and Kudus both did really well. What were your thoughts about Oman?
Yeah, it's actually a really cool race. I went there with a different thought for how the race was going to be, and it actually turned out really cool. I really enjoyed it. You know, if I get the chance to go back again, I'll definitely be on the start line again next year, and the year after, until whenever I don't have to. You know, it's got a bit of everything. You know, 2 sprint stages and then a couple of really hard days in the middle, and you know the racing. Yeah, that was good, and for us, for the team, we had an incredible time there. You know, first day Christian running second in the sprint, and then you know Kudus, was incredible up there in the GC every day. But not just him, Lachlan Morton was incredible, and then Nathan, Nathan, wow, he was just unreal there, and finished 9th I think on the GC as well. So it's incredible for a guy that's actually a bit of a sprinter, a bit of a climber, a bit of an all-rounder. We had a good time. We had a good team there, and we won the team competition. So yeah, it was great, and I was pretty happy to play my part to be able to ride the front, and also Green Mountain. I was looking after the climbers during the bit of the crazy wind that was playing along that stage, and I dropped them off in the front at the bottom there, and they did their thing. And yeah, we didn't win a stage, but I think we really were the race. When the initiative had to be taken for riding to bring a break back, we were on the front, we were riding. We were always making the attacks in the final. We had guys sprinting in the sprints. We were always there. It was never that we weren't in the race, and if we weren't riding the front to try and make the race harder or control to bring a break back, we were part of the final. So, as a team, I think we can take a lot out of that race and be proud of what we did as a team there.
Yeah, it's been quite a start to the season for the squad. You quite really mentioned you were up there almost every single day in Oman. Cavendish goes and wins his first stage in Abu Dhabi, and then you had Strade at the weekend. The chaos that is Strade Bianche. How was your day?
Not ideal. Look, Strade is a beautiful race, but the weather made it even more, I think, brutal. I've done pretty much all the cobblestone classics. I've done some of the Ardennes classics, and I think you could put Strade up there with the big boys. I think they've got the mix right now with 175 k's. Why make the race longer than that? Some races we do 100 k's of parading around on the flat roads before we hit the first cobbles or the first climbs, or where Strade Bianche, after 4 kilometers you're already on the first set of sand, and it just doesn't stop. The roads go up and down, they're twisting, they're going left and right. There's loose gravel, there's hard gravel, there's wind, there was rain. There was just, if you could think of a perfect race, I think Saturday was a perfect race to watch on TV.
It was, and the TV coverage was kind of strange. We saw the front group, but not much anything else, and all of a sudden, Bosenhagen and Thwaites appear almost out of nowhere.
Those two were incredible. We had a bit of bad luck. They both were involved in a crash, which actually caused a bit of us. The race was actually made because of crashes. A lot of crashes happened at not important moments, but moments that counted. So Edvald and Scott and Nathan all crashed at once, and I don't know if we can say it. Luckily, I was right by them, and I could be on hand to be of service, and I brought them back to the front group. that was behind the 11 or 12 guys that were going after the breakaway. And then those two just said, okay, well, we got to ride now to you, and we'll ride across to the front group, and they did an incredible effort just to get themselves back into the front of the race. So, hats off to them for taking the initiative and fighting back. When you crash, it's never so easy to come from behind and always do that, especially in a race like that where it's 175 Ks. It's full gas. Every pro bike rider, most people that ride bikes more than 3 times a week can ride 175 Ks. So, for pro bike riders, the watts that are getting thrown down in the front are not just that the guys are riding easy. So for them to ride across was something that we can smile upon for the classics to come.
And obviously we're now going to focus on Tirreno, a beautiful race. You've been in Italy, obviously you've done Strade, you're there for Tirreno, you're staying on for Milan-San Remo. A really challenging route this year. It's so difficult. It begins with the team time trial on Wednesday. Is that a discipline you enjoy?
Yeah, look, I enjoy the team time trial, but I have to be honest, our team, we haven't been so good at them. I think the biggest problem is, we maybe don't do enough work with it, but yeah, it's a good race. I enjoy doing a team time trial. Yeah, I think for us it'll be just more going through the motions. We don't have anybody for the GC, so we won't be winning the team time trial. Oh, maybe we'll surprise you all, and we will. But maybe I will surprise myself, and we will win the team time trial. But let's see about that. For us, it's more to concentrate on the stages as they come. Take each day as it goes, and then put all our eggs in one basket on the day, like we did in Oman. That's how we did it. We didn't plan on winning the GC. We said, okay, we play it as it goes. If each day works out like this, you work towards it, and you work towards one goal with one rider on the day, and that's how you must do it. And if you want to be a team, that's how you do it. And the team time trial, unfortunately, not having a GC rider does make it a bit that, I don't know, maybe that we don't go as hard as we should, or I don't know. I'm hoping that we have a good team time trial, but our previous editions, we haven't been so great. That's my honest opinion. I don't think people will like it, but that's how it is.
Stage 2, it's just really hard. It's 229 kilometres, which is a kind of typical Italian Tirreno type of stage, getting people ready for Milan-San Remo. We have 3 categorised climbs inside the last half of the race. It has an uphill finish as well, which is, I think it's actually a 12 kilometre climb at 2.6%, which then breaks off into a couple of steeper sections towards that. It looks like a day for the puncheurs. You have obviously Bosenhagen, who clearly is carrying really good form. Do you think that looks like a kind of Eddie Boss type stage?
Yeah, look, of course, when it's not if it's not a Alpe d'Huez, I think Eddie's got a chance. The guy's got so much power. He's incredible. And the way he's preparing for the classics and the way he's looking, and if everything goes right, can put him in a good position in the final, on that final climb with Scott Thwaites being the way he's going to. I think the two of them being in the final, we have a chance at having a crack with Edvald. You never know how the race goes. If it's a headwind up the climb, then 3%, not 100 guys are going to come to the finish, because 3% isn't averaging of 10%. So guys don't sit up. Guys don't give up on the 3% climb because it's not steep enough in the sense to just drop the bigger guys. You can actually stay there, and if the wind plays the role for a bigger guy, you're not going to ride him off the wheel. You can do whatever you want. You can be Nibali, Froome, wherever you want to be. You can attack from the bottom. You're not going to get rid of a guy that weighs 75 kilos. If he can produce 400 watts, 500 watts, he's going to come back. So I think that's going to be a punchier day. It's going to be a group of 60 or 70 guys that are going to sprint for that finish, I think. My honest opinion. Unless it's a Paris-Nice and the wind is blowing like hell.
Well, I've had a look at the weather forecast, and I know you're saying it's raining just now, but the forecast looks quite nice for the week.
Yep. I'm pretty happy that it's raining over Strade and this weekend, because I've done Tirreno in 2013 and 14, and the weather was not so nice. So I would really enjoy a nice sunny Tirreno.
And I bet you'll be messaging your friends in Paris-Nice with a smile on your face when you see the horror that they're going through just now.
Oh, the poor guys.
Stage 3 looks like the first kind of big sprint stage. It finishes with an uphill kick. There's 500 metres at 4%, and then kind of like a false flat 1%, 1.5% finish. Stage 3, do you think you'll be straight on the front, dictating pace?
I think it all depends on how it goes on stage 2. Obviously, whoever wins stage 1 or stage 2 is going to be maybe in yellow, maybe in the leader's jersey, I think turquoise or whatever colour it is. Yeah, sorry, I can't remember. They're going to be doing the majority of the work. So for us to go straight away from kilometre 0, it's a possibility. If we think that Cav's got a chance to win, we're going to make sure that we can make it for a sprint. That's how we'll go. So we have to see how stage 2 goes, and I think with Cav, if it's going to be a bunch sprint, you have to be involved to make sure that it's a sprint. If he's got a chance to win, I want to give him the chance. So I might be on the from kilometre 0. I might be there just in the final to make sure that it is a bunch sprint, but you'll definitely see my ugly mug in the front.
There isn't a huge amount of possibly top level sprinters here. A lot have made the decision to go to Paris-Nice and probably now regretting that one. Cavendish, Pelucci, Sagan, Viviani, Modolo, and the young sensation that is Gaviria. Gaviria looks like a sensational young rider, yeah?
Yeah, look, if you had asked me for some stars for stage wins, I would have put him at 3 stars. Stage 2, stage 3, both have him as a possibility to try and win that. He can kind of climb, he can sprint, he can ride away and win stages solo. He's done it all.
Mental, absolutely. What he can potentially become, that's the frightening thing, the fact that they don't know yet if he's going to be sprinter or classics rider.
Yeah, I think he's maybe the new Sagan.
Quite possibly.
Maybe we are the lucky generation that get to see 2 of the best riders ever to be riding bikes. Sagan, can tell you now, is many people will remember that name for eternity. That guy's, I wasn't around when Eddie Merckx was winning bike races, but Peter Sagan, to me, he's an animal.
Yeah, definitely one of the best there's ever been. Stage 4 is the big mountain finish, Terminio. Last time we were here, Quintana won in the snow, which was a fairly epic day that kind of lives long in most people's memory. Him just dancing up this ridiculously steep climb, snow everywhere, and off he goes. It's a really hard mountain. I bet you'll be looking forward to the end of that stage.
Look, I did get this off season, but I'm definitely not going to be involved in any sort of pacing of the front group. Maybe at the back I might pace a little bit, but of course, unfortunately we don't have a GC rider yet for Tirreno, but we'll definitely maybe just try and go through the motions that day. For me, it's just to get to the end of that day and not suffer too much, not hurt myself too much, because the last days, you want to put your eggs in the basket and try and do something special with the team.
Stage 5 looks, in my opinion, even harder. The mountain top finish stage, it should be a relatively easy day until the last kind of 20 kilometres of pain. Stage 5 is, I think it's described in the road book as 7 steep climbs. It looks absolutely crazy inside the final kind of 100k. We've got double-digit climbs, one after the other after the other. That looks to me like a huge GC day.
Yeah, I think that they did it pretty good this year. Two monster days straight after each other for the GC. I think you're pretty much going to have a understanding who's going to be in control of the race from a race leader. But will you be able to control it the next year to be able to do it again? Only time will tell who can be able to do that. And the way Quintana can climb and the way he rides his bike, he doesn't need mates in the final. He can do a lot by himself. So, it'll be up to other teams to take the race to him. To be honest, I think he's a 4-star in my books. He's the guy, the standout guy to beat here. So the way Movistar ride bike races, I think stage 5 is going to be brutal.
There was a similar stage a number of years ago. I remember when I think Nibali won the overall, 2013 possibly, and I think Sagan actually won that day. I'm looking at
that stage. It was we finished at the ocean side, right?
Yeah, and there was a real like a 20% climb. The pain floods back. I'm looking at this stage, and Van Avermaet was so strong in Strade. He could survive. Nibali was going to be there. It is one of those days where a puncher who's really on form could get to the end.
Like Kwiatkowski.
Yeah, definitely after his outstanding performance on Saturday as well.
I think he's we see the new Kwiatkowski coming, the old Kwiatkowski coming back, the guy that won the world. I think he pushed himself to breaking point a couple of years ago, 2 years ago when he moved to Sky. He found where his body snaps, and now last year he started to rebuild. We saw glimpses of him coming back, and now the way he won Strade Bianche, I think you can say that he's found his way back to his old self, and I'm glad to see that because he's a hell of a nice guy. It's going to be interesting to see how a stage like that will turn out with the punchers like him. And don't forget about Edvald. I know he wasn't in the final of Strade Bianche, but after the problems he had, he punched twice in the race, crashed. He still rode across to the front guys. I think he had to spend a lot more energy than those guys that were sitting in the front there that rode away eventually. And, I think a day like that, you never discount him. I think we could have a real good go with him too.
Yeah, I would agree. He is looking strong, and the team are obviously doing well just now, and winning breeds more confidence, and then more confidence gets you more wins. So it'll be good to see what he can do in that stage. Stage six is another sprint. It looks an easier day, although there is a challenge near the end. We have a short little kicker of a climb, and then it should be hopefully a Cavendish day.
Yeah, there were those 2 days that I could say that were pretty much it. I think would be a sprint, and that's one of them. And yeah, it'll be good to finish pretty much because that's the end of the tour. To finish it off with a victory would be a big confidence booster going into the rest of this San Remo 5 days later or 4 days later. It would be good for us,
And then we have the time trial to round it off. And we'll have to see. Hopefully the GC is still tight and we have an interesting time trial. I suppose it depends on how good Quintana is. We will look at the stars just now. So you were kind enough to give me some stars, and I've done some stars as well. We are along the same lines, many of the same riders. 1 star you have Rui Costa, Bauke Mollema and Mikel Landa, who was going particularly well over in Spain recently. Costa, what a start to the season he's had.
Oh yeah, he's been incredible. As I say, he won down in Argentina. Was incredible in Abu Dhabi to win there. So he's definitely got some power in the legs. So he's going to be a guy to watch. But only reason I put him as a 1 star is he's been winning in the heat. Is he going to be ready to fight if there's cold? And Tirreno, we've known there's been rain. we look at the weather and it looks 18 degrees and sunny the whole week, but as we all know, it's Europe, it's winter, it's beginning of spring. The weather can change so fast. In 1 week, weather changes, and one bad day comes, and can he handle the cold weather after being so good in the heat? That's the only question what I have in my mind when I put him as a 1-star down there.
I suppose one of the things we have to bear in mind is the 32 kilometres of time trial, which comes in this race as well. One mountaintop finish. One mountaintop finish, one brutal classic style day. So to do well in this race and to win overall, you need to have a good team time trial squad with you. Costa, not so sure. I've got him in 2 stars, so I've got him even higher up. But thinking about the team time trial, he's bound to lose time. Let's talk about Fabio Aru. I have him as 1 star, you have him as 2 stars.
The Giro. He wants to be Astana's outright leader at the Giro, I'm sure. Or the Tour de France. It depends on which one he's going for. If he decides that he wants to go for the Tour de France, then okay. Then he's not going to be trying to peak now for Trentino or Tirreno, sorry. But he's a classic climber. He's going to fight till the tooth and nail, and if he's the leader of the team, he's not going to just sit up and give up. He's going to fight. So, and he's Italian. The Italian race, the Italian boy, he wants to prove that he can be good at home. So, you can never not put him in as a GC contender.
One rider who was very strong in Strade Bianche, I have him as 2 stars. You've got him as 3 stars. He's one of the best time trialists in the world, is Mr. Tom Dumoulin. Massive, massive threat for this race. I suppose it will be the mountaintop finish. If he can hold on, he was really good in Abu Dhabi. He got away from the main group there. He really is a phenomenal rider, isn't he?
Yeah, look, Tom Dumoulin, he's just over the years, he's increased his stature as a bike rider and as a tour winner, be it short days, long days. He seems to be growing himself into a GC contender. I was there at the Giro after the Vuelta a España the year he lost on the final stage there just outside Madrid. And wow, what he did that tour was incredible. He was climbing and he was time trialing like an animal. So, after seeing what he did at Strade Bianche in those conditions, I think he really has a good chance. And the way he can time trial, he could carry, he's like 3 men in the team time trial. So, they're starting with 11, but the rest of us with
8. One rider we both have is Geraint Thomas. He is in this unique position at Sky. I suppose he's going in as a co-leader, and they're talking about co-leadership at the Giro as well with Landa. They're both here, as is Kwiatkowski. They have a ridiculously strong team. I mean, he's got to go well here, to kind of get the confidence and to show to the bosses, I suppose, that he is worthy of co-leader. You would imagine he's going to be good here, yeah?
Yeah, look, I followed him. He was in South Africa training a bit with Chris Froome at altitude, so, they trained in monsoon rains there. I know the weather was horrible for them, but I think he's ready to show that he can win short stage races and he can be competitive in the GC and the long ones. He was up there with Froome a few years ago in the Tour de France until he crashed. So, I really think he's got a good chance to do something at this thing, winning Paris-Nice last year, I was there. He's definitely got a chance to win this bike race,
Especially with such a strong team with him.
Exactly, and when you have a strong team, it means you're going to have a strong team time trial. And Geraint Thomas, we all know, was the Olympic champion in the team pursuit, so he can suffer in the individual time trial too. So 10Ks is not out of his capability to even win the final stage. So a guy like Quintana or Nibali will have to put 20-30 seconds into him on that final climb, and do they do that? You don't know. We have to see how Geraint is climbing too. That's also another thing.
One rider that you don't have and I do is the man for the breakaway from Strada, Mr. Thibaut Pinot, who surprised many riders by going in the break on Saturday. It turned out to be a good break to make because he missed all the crashes.
Yeah, that was a good break to make. I think a lot of us would think, damn, I should have been there.
Went on to finish 9th in the race, which was no mean feat considering he was out all day. FDJ were really good in the team time trial here last season. I think they were 3rd. He is better at time trialling than he's ever been. He could go extremely well on the mountaintop finish. I like the look of Pino for this race. He is very consistent in 1 week races. Still hasn't quite cracked the Grand Tours yet, but I think that will come. And I have him down as a real contender for this one.
No, I totally agree. He's definitely got, and he can climb, but he always misses something.
A lot of people think it's tactically. They think.
No, but I think he just missed something. I don't know if he has that killer instinct like a Nibali or a Quintana or like a Geraint Thomas. I think he just misses something. And I don't know if it will come with age a little bit, maybe 1 or 2 years, and he's going to find it, but he misses being a killer. Making that move when it matters, not going in the break to try and win a stage, going to break guys to actually get the time to win GCs,
I suppose you mentioned already the main rider here is Quintana. It's going to be about how much time he takes in the mountaintop finish, because he's Movistar are a strong team, but he's going to lose time in the time trials. So for him, it's about how much time he can make up. Do you have him as the favourite for the race?
Quintana?
Yeah.
You have to give it to him because that Tormolino is not an easy climb. It's that's a beast, and if he lays down what he does at normal races, Froome's not here. We all know that's the only man that can follow him. Sorry, my battery is busy dying here. That's why I'm moving around.
That's okay. We're nearly done. One man we've not talked about is Nibali. I have him as 3 stars. You have him as 2 stars. This is his race. You mentioned before, Italians love this race. The stage 5 to Fermo is right up his street. That kind of classic one-day race. I think he's going to be contending for the overall here, and he can do a good time trial when he has to. So moving on to your pick, Jay. Who's going to win the race?
You know what? I'm going to go with Quintana. He's a classy bike rider. He's hungry. He wants to win the Giro. He wants to win the Tour. So he wants to win everything. I think this year he just wants to win everything. He wants to be the Sagan of Tours this year. So I have to say that I'll go with Quintana because I think he's just hungry. He just wants to win, and he's proved it. He came out swinging already, and he's won races. So let's see. I think that's my pick for Tirreno.
So you have the favourite. You've got Quintana. I'll go Nibali. He started the season well for his standards. Sometimes he's 100th, but he's been relatively high up so far. And if he can limit his losses on Terminillo to maybe 30 seconds, 45 seconds, I think he has it in him to put Quintana to the sword the next day. We're not used to seeing Quintana in that kind of classic one-day stage. We will have to see. Obviously, he can climb, so it's going to be hard. But you're going Quintana, I'm going Nibali, and a good race for Dimension Data, maybe a couple of stage wins.
Yeah, of course, it would be great if we could walk away with. I think two stage wins is definitely well within our reach. Out of 7 days, if we could win 2, you could call that a successful trip for us. And with the team that we have here, I really believe we've really got, for going for stages, we've got one of the better teams that we can put together from support to finishing it off. So, if everything goes together and things stay the way they are and everybody stays healthy, everybody stays on the bike, and, I think we have a good chance at really showing what we've got at this race.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for taking time out of a very busy day for yourself to come back on and discuss the race. I hope it goes well for you.
Thanks very much for having me again. I really, as I say, I truly enjoy doing these previews with you.
The preview show, as it's now called.
The preview show, there we go.
Well, Jay, thank you very much. Best of luck for the race.
Thank you very much.
And we are